Kingdom Kids. Buckle in, we're about to go on another adventure.
CC, it's story time. CC, it's story time! CC always telling the stories, pink hair and socks, and she's never boring. Whiteboard with the orange tie. You need a recap? Derek is your guy. Oh, with a flow so cold. Everybody get ready for adventure mode. Heather with the crew that's so disruptive. Hey, what's that? Friendly interruption! Kingdom Kids, yeah, Kingdom Kids. Kingdom Kids, yeah, Kingdom Kids!
It's so great to see you again, Kingdom Kids. Today's lesson is a real doozy, and I can't wait to get into it. But before we do that, we need a recap. Take it away, Derek.
The Lord told Jonah to go to the city of Nineveh and tell them to stop sinning. But Jonah tried to run away from the Lord. He did not want to go to such an evil city. He went out to the ship that was headed to Tarshish. While Jonah was out at sea, the Lord brought a great storm down on the boat. Then the men figured out that Jonah was the reason for the storm. And Jonah told the men he was running away from the Lord. Jonah said to the men, "Throw me out into the sea, and the sea will become calm." So the men threw Jonah into the sea, and the storm stopped. When Jonah fell into the sea, a big fish swallowed Jonah. He was in the stomach of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Then the fish vomited Jonah out of his stomach onto dry land. Yuck! So Jonah finally obeyed the Lord and went to Nineveh. Jonah went to the center of the city and began speaking to the people. The people of Nineveh believed in God and turned from their ways. Whoa! What a story! Anyways, back to you, CC.
Can you imagine being swallowed by a huge fish? That sounds crazy. Well, it actually reminds me of this one time where my pet dog had a...
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this friendly interruption. Hopefully your brain doesn't hurt too much after our riddle with Richard.
Welcome back, Kingdom Kids, with another riddle with Dr. Richard. Now, tell me if you can figure this one out, Which letter in the alphabet has the most water? Oh, it's under the sea, under the sea. It's the letter C. I'll bet you didn't get that one.
Oh my goodness! I think I got that one! Did you get it? Well, if you didn't, you can always try next time. Well, let's get back to Cece.
Aw, man, I didn't get that riddle. Did you, Kingdom Kids? Well, anyways, now that that's out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for...
Adventure Mode!
The Lord told a man named Hosea to go and marry a woman who was not faithful to Hosea because the people of Israel were not being faithful to the Lord. So Hosea married Gomer. She gave birth to 3 children and left to be with other people. Then the Lord said to Hosea again, "Gomer has many others she loves, but you must continue loving her. Do this because it is an example of the Lord's love for Israel. He continues to love them, but they continue to turn to other gods." So Hosea brought his wife home and continued to love her as the Lord instructed. The Lord was using Gomer as an example of the Israelites. Even though Hosea was a good husband who provided for Gomer and gave her gifts and jewels, she still turned away from Hosea and went to be with others. In the same way, God freed the Israelites from the Egyptians and gave them land to stay where He provided for them. But even though God provided for the children of Israel, they acted like Gomer and turned away from the person who cared for them. Time after time, the Israelites turned away from God and went to worship other fake gods like Baal. When God would punish them for their sins and take away the things He had provided for them, like food, freedom, and safety, they returned to God and followed His commandments. But God was growing tired of the Israelites leaving Him and following other gods time after time. The Lord said, "I loved Israel and brought them out of Egypt, but the more I called the Israelites, the more they left me. The Israelites gave sacrifices to the false gods and idols, but I was the one who gave Israel shelter. I gave them rest from their enemies, I healed them, and I led them to the promised lands. Come back to me, be loyal to me, and do the right thing, and always trust in your God." Hosea realized the lesson God was trying to teach him through his wife. So he turned to the people of Israel and warned them, saying, "Come, let's go back to the Lord. He will heal us. Let's learn about the Lord. Let's try very hard to know him. He will come to us like the rain, like the spring rain that waters the ground." But the people of Israel did not listen and would not turn from their evil ways. And that's what we learned on
Adventure Mode!
Wow, God really does love us, Kingdom Kids. Even though the Israelites kept turning away from him, he still sent his son down to rescue us from our sins. God is pretty amazing. Maybe you can take some time this week and talk with your parents or your friends about some of your favorite things about God. For example, my favorite thing about God is that no matter how many times I mess up, he's always there to help me back up. Our God is an awesome God who can do some pretty awesome things. Well, Kingdom Kids, that's all for today. I'll see you next time.